Welcome to the empty quarter.
This story takes us into the heart of the Arabian desert, where legendary explorer Bertram Thomas embarked on a daring journey in 1930 to cross the formidable Rub al-Khali, the world's largest sand desert.
So is it like the largest in the world or something, maybe?
But his mission uncovered much more than he could have imagined. He came back with a tale of a lost city buried beneath the sand.
Why it's so extraordinary and why you think it's possible that it came from some other intelligent civilization.
A city that had eluded generations of adventurers. Much like the discussions on the Joe Rogan Experience, JRE, where unorthodox theories and fascinating tales are explored.
And it seems like something happened that reset civilization. And
Thomas's story sparked curiosity about this ancient civilization. Could the mythical Atlantis of the sands truly exist? The Rub al-Khali, or Empty Quarter, is a vast desert that stretches across the Arabian Peninsula, covering roughly 250,000 square miles. It's a place where the dunes rise as high as 800 feet, creating an endless sea of desert that seems to go on forever. With no rivers, no lakes, and only the occasional oasis, it is a landscape that defies the limits of human endurance. The sheer isolation and extreme conditions make it one of the harshest environments on the planet, and for centuries, it was considered impassable by most explorers. However, Bertram Thomas, a seasoned British explorer, was not like most men. Born in Somerset, England in 1892, Thomas had already built a reputation for his extensive work in the Middle East. During World War I, he was sent to Mesopotamia, where he not only became deeply familiar with the region, but also earned the respect and trust of the local people. His intimate knowledge of the desert and its people gave him a unique edge over any other European adventurer. By October 1930, Thomas was ready to attempt the unimaginable, crossing the Empty Quarter with a caravan of Bedouin guides by his side. On October 6, 1930, Bertram Thomas and his team of 25 Bedouin guides set out from the coastal town of Salalah in Oman, embarking on what would become one of the most remarkable expeditions in history. Their path took them northward, first navigating the Kara Mountains, which rise sharply to over 3,000 feet. They passed through fragrant frankincense groves before entering the desolate steppe that would lead them into the heart of the Empty Quarter. For the next 59 days, Thomas and his guides disappeared from the world's radar. No one knew where they were or what they were doing. Thomas's government was unaware of his mission and would have likely prohibited him from attempting such a dangerous journey had they known. Yet despite the isolation and peril of the desert, Thomas was confident. He had experience and knowledge of survival in the harshest conditions, but the sheer vastness of the desert would test even his abilities to the limit. By February 5, 1931, Thomas emerged from the desert in Doha, Qatar, miraculously unharmed and with a story to tell. Not only had he survived, but he had brought back with him more than 400 natural history specimens, including 21 species new to Western science. However, this was just the beginning of the incredible tale he had to share. Among the natural history specimens, Thomas brought back a story far more extraordinary than any of the plants or animals he had discovered. During his journey, one of his Bedouin guides had shared an ancient tale that had been passed down through generations. The guide spoke of a great city buried beneath the desert sands, a place once filled with riches and life. According to the guide, the city was said to be so wealthy that its date gardens thrived, and a fortress made of red silver stood at its heart. The city, however, had long since vanished, swallowed by the desert, and was now hidden under layers of shifting sand. This was no ordinary folklore. The story was so specific that it sparked the curiosity of Thomas, who had little time during his expedition to investigate it further. But the legend stuck with him, and when he returned to Europe, he recorded the tale in his book Arabia Felix, which soon became a sensation. The mystery of the lost city captured the imagination of explorers and scholars alike, fueling dreams of a hidden treasure and a civilization lost to time. As news of Thomas's discovery spread, one notable figure became deeply intrigued: T.E. Lawrence, the legendary Lawrence of Arabia.
Myth-like status as Lawrence of Arabia, the modern Robin Hood with his tales of courage and adventure.
Lawrence believed the story had more than just mythological roots. He was convinced that a long-lost city could indeed lie beneath the sands of the Empty Quarter. T.E. Lawrence, inspired by the story in Arabia Felix, became one of the most ardent supporters of the lost city's existence. Lawrence had a unique understanding of the Arabian desert, gained from his own experiences during World War I, and his belief in the city's reality was unwavering. He argued that it could be the remains of an ancient Arab civilization, possibly linked to the Ad tribe described in the Quran. Lawrence was so convinced that he made plans to search for the city, but his tragic death in 1935 prevented him from following through. Before his death, however, Lawrence gave the city a name that would stick: Atlantis of the Sands. This name, evoking the mystery and allure of a lost civilization, continued to fuel speculation about the city's existence. Lawrence's belief that the ruins of a great city lay hidden beneath the desert sands became an obsession for many, ensuring that the legend of Atlantis of the Sands would live on for generations to come. Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you. The legend of the Lost City was rooted in more than just oral traditions. It had biblical ties that made its mystery even more compelling. In the Quran, there is mention of a tribe called the Ad, who lived in the desert after the flood of Noah. The people of the Ad, according to the Quran, were known for their immense wealth and power. They built towering palaces and monumental structures, including pillars so magnificent that they stood out across the land. However, their prosperity led to arrogance and idolatry. The people of Iram, the city of the Ad, defied the warnings of the prophet Hud, who was sent to guide them back to righteousness. In response to their rejection of divine guidance, the Quran tells of a catastrophic event, a sandstorm sent by Allah that destroyed the city of Iram and its people. The city, once a symbol of wealth and power, was buried beneath the desert sands. Was this a rhetorical tool, or could Iram truly exist beneath the sands? The mystery of Iram took on new dimensions when it appeared in 1001 Nights, the collection of ancient Middle Eastern folk tales. In one story, Abdullah bin Ali Kaliba, a man searching for his lost camel, stumbles upon a magnificent abandoned city. The city is described as nothing short of paradise: towering gates inlaid with jewels, palaces made of gold and silver, and fruit-laden trees lining the streets. Kaliba is struck with awe and fear at the sight of this paradise, but there is no one to be found within. When Kaliba reports the discovery, the officials are skeptical, but one expert immediately recognizes it as the legendary Iram. He tells them of King Shaddad, who sought to build a replica of paradise on Earth. However, the city was destroyed before Shaddad could reach it. Kaliba's story, with its parallels to the legend, reinforced the idea that the lost city might not just be a myth, but a real place waiting to be found beneath the desert sands. The quest for Iram grew more compelling with archaeological discoveries that challenged conventional wisdom about ancient civilizations. In 1974, the discovery of a statue at Ebla in Syria confirmed the existence of the city, which had been known in ancient texts but never identified. The statue, dedicated to the goddess Ishtar, and the inscriptions on it mentioned Iram for the first time in modern archaeology. This was a significant breakthrough, as it linked the legendary city to a real civilization. The tablets found at Ebla also described Iram as a place of black magic and idolatry, echoing the Quranic portrayal of the city's wickedness. This discovery rekindled the search for Iram, leading many to believe it was not just a fable. The confirmation that Iram was mentioned in ancient texts gave fresh hope to archaeologists and explorers, who now had a tangible connection between the myth and reality. But the question remained, where was this city, and could it be uncovered? In 1948, another discovery deepened the mystery of Iram's location. A geological survey team from Petroleum Development Limited of Oman, while investigating the empty quarter, encountered an unusual site near the Shizir oasis. They first believed it was a large white cliff, but it turned out to be the wall of a ruined fort, partially buried in sand. The area appeared deserted, and the geologists noted the fort without further investigation. Interestingly, Bertram Thomas had passed through Shizir in 1930 and noted a similar fort. His Bedouin guides had dismissed it as a more recent structure. In both cases, the significance of the fort was overlooked. However, the presence of a ruin at Shizir suggested that the area may have once been a thriving settlement. The fort's location near ancient trade routes provided further evidence that Shizir could be linked to the long-lost city of Iram. The search for Iram and the secrets hidden beneath the sand had only just begun. The mystery of the Lost City of Iram, or Atlantis of the Sands, continues to captivate explorers and historians alike. While the ruins discovered at Shizir have brought us closer than ever to solving this ancient enigma, the full truth remains buried beneath the desert sands. Whether the city of Iram truly existed as described in ancient texts, or if it is a myth still awaiting discovery, one thing is certain: the allure of the empty quarter will continue to draw adventurers and researchers in search of what may have once been the most powerful city in the Arabian desert. Keep exploring, and who knows what mysteries will be uncovered next.